someone brings a pen for you to sign. Yeah.
I did not see a purchase order.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, sign, we don't use the word sign, we use endorse.
Endorse.
We don't
Can I
say
get your
price.
autograph?
We don't say price, we say fee.
Mm.
A partnership fee. Come in. Hi.
Hi, Chris.
Yes.
Sophie Crossley with
Hi,
Dodge
Sophie.
Data. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with
No
me
problem.
today. Really excited to chat with you.
Good.
I saw your office. It's beautiful.
Thank you
coming
so
in.
much. Well, if we're going to be in the distributor business, we better have a nice place.
Yeah, I saw a picture of your two boys playing soccer. How'd their team do this year?
Not so well. I blame the coach. My kids are fabulous.
I'm sure it's always the coach's fault, isn't
Right,
it?
right.
I agree. So I know you're very busy.
Yeah.
I'd like to set an agenda with you today.
Good,
Wrote one up for you.
good.
So first I'd like to get to know a little bit more about your company,
Mhm.
some of your goals, obstacles that we're looking at.
Mhm.
And then after that, I'd like to discuss maybe some potential options that we can do and help you with.
Okay,
And after that, if it all makes sense, we can talk about the next steps. Does that sound good for
sounds
you?
good.
Okay, and is there anyone else who would benefit from being here today?
Yeah, you're going to talk about marketing stuff too, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm a sales guy. I don't know anything about marketing. So our marketing person probably should sometime hear what you have to say. And you're not doing this for free, right? So maybe the controller might want to hear what you have to say. So, but let's play it by ear. If it makes some sense, maybe we can get these other people involved down the road.
Sure, yeah. I can always send a follow-up email to them if that
Okay.
makes sense, but
Okay.
I'll save that for later.
Okay.
So just to give you a little background about who I am,
Mhm.
I've been working with Dodge for about 4 years
Okay.
now. My main goal is to make sure that your target audience is seeing all of the work that you're trying to do,
Okay.
all of the clients that you're trying to reach,
Mhm.
and also making sure that we're spending your dollars where they need to be going and they're being used efficiently.
Sounds good.
So now I'd like to get to know a little bit more about you. I have
Okay.
a general gist of the VP of sales position,
Mhm.
but could you tell me a little bit more about your role and specific goals that you have within the company?
My role is to make the role of our salespeople as easy as possible, and to help them to be as productive as possible. So I look on them as I'm their servant.
Okay, very fair. And could you tell me about some more goals of your company overall?
We want to grow.
Okay, and what are you trying to do right now to achieve that goal?
Good question. We have been working with a number of outside folks, focus groups with some of our customers, our prospective customers, to try and figure out what we're doing or not doing that's impacted our effectiveness. We've got an outfit that's working with us in terms of improving our lead generation, or at least the quality of our lead generation, to get those pipelines a little bit fatter. So that's what we're trying to do now.
Okay, and could you explain to me a little bit more about the kind of work you're doing with lead generation, how you're reaching out to potential prospects? and
Right now, a
companies?
lot of it's referral based. Current customers giving us referrals to other people in the business. In our business, in terms of construction business, architects are involved, engineers are involved, contractors involved, subcontractors involved. So we rely on this network to try and give us some ideas of what's happening, when are some new construction sites going to be coming online, who should we be talking to, who's really calling the shots, that kind of thing.
Okay, and how are clients finding your company other than referrals that you
Clients are, prospective clients, the typical statement we get is, you guys are no different from any other distributor, why should we go with you? Your products are very similar to the product lines of other distributors, why should we go with you? I'm happy with my current distributor, why should I change? We get that feedback a lot.
Okay, and what are you doing to combat those?
Well,
comments?
some of it has to do with what our salespeople have to say in terms of what they know about the company and how we sell ourselves. But the customers have got some good points. We have to be able to position ourselves as different in a way that's better. And I think what we have to sell is, it used to be what we had to sell is we had a better quality product line. That we're kind of losing that advantage. And so what I think we have to sell right now is that we're better in terms of in stock versus some of our competitors, and we're better in terms of delivery than some of our competitors. And it's kind of getting that across and explaining to our prospective customers the value of that. That's what we're trying to do. But we're kind of frustrated in that many times we're there after that by the time we get there, our competitors have already beat us to the punch.
Okay, and could you explain to me or give me an example of how much time you're spending on finding those new projects a week? Is it overly time
Well, but
consuming for you?
I mean, my marketing guys try with lead generation from the website. The
Mhm.
salesperson in each territory is responsible for generating their own leads from this referral basis. And so a typical salesperson spends at least about 25% of their time in terms of lead generation.
Okay, and are they having a lot of success in that area?
Not enough.
Not enough, okay, well, we can definitely work on
Mhm.
that. And overall, do you have any other concerns, other than having problems with referrals and having people coming across your website?
No, the bottom line is my concern. Sales are not what they should be.
Okay, so you're currently, would you say plateauing right now? or
That's a
you
good word.
increasing?
The plateauing is an excellent word.
Okay, so just to summarize, like you said, we're plateauing with revenue,
Mhm.
having a hard time differentiating yourself from competitors,
Mhm.
and bringing people into your website.
Right,
Okay, so I think that we definitely have something that can help you.
okay,
I'll just give you a little bit of background on Dodge first, if that's okay.
that's fine.
So we're one of North America's leading industries in supplying analytics.
Okay,
And we've worked with some of the big three like Turner in
Mhm.
increasing profit,
Mhm.
increasing revenue, and really boosting these companies who are plateauing to a higher level.
Mhm.
So how would it sound if we could offer you a potential client base of 50,000 people?
That'd be nice. By 50,000 people, you mean 50,000 leads or 50,000 companies?
Potential leads. So,
Okay.
and furthermore, if we could get you to find projects 3 to 5 years in advance, does that sound something that would benefit you?
That timing has been a problem in the past, so yeah, if you could do that, that would probably have a significant impact.
So one of the packages that we offer with Dodge Suites is Spec Share. So
Mhm.
essentially what that does is we have access from our collective
Mhm.
database to, like I said, about 50,000 companies that are up and coming with their
By
projects.
50,000 companies, we're just a New Jersey distributor.
Yes, I
We're
understand.
not interested in what's going on in Lubbock, Texas.
Mhm. That's a valid point.
Mhm.
But even from that 50,000, we can still offer you a significant amount. But aside from that, we can find you projects 3 to 5 years in advance, and with
Mhm.
Spec Share, not only can we do that,
Mhm.
you will be able to see the specifications of certain products that are in those projects.
Okay,
So you won't have to spend as much time through your marketing, because you'll be able to directly contact these people, and you'll be able to know which of your services you might be able
Okay.
to offer them. So
Okay.
that will save you a lot of time and money, if that
Okay.
makes sense to you.
okay, okay.
And furthermore, we also.
So if I'm hearing you correctly,
Sure.
if I told you that 25% of my guys' time is spent lead generation, that's, every day they spend generating leads is one less day they're in front of a customer.
Yeah.
So you're saying that if we do a better job of, or if we have these leads sort of handed to us, our guys could spend less time in terms of lead generation and more time following up on leads. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. So
Okay.
we'd be able to cut that time of, say, 25% down to 15. So
Okay,
you'd see a lot more return on your investment that way, so you wouldn't be spending as much.
that's 25 to 15. Do you have experience with companies actually achieving that?
Yeah, we do. That's a great question. So like I was mentioning Turner
Mhm.
before, this is an example. They worked with us,
Mhm.
let's say 10 years ago, and in
Mhm.
the first few months their profit increased, and as well as their time was reduced. So this chart here explains just how much their revenue went up. They were initially plateauing right about here, and
Mhm.
it's increased a lot more. So this is something that we would also be able to do for your company
Okay.
as well.
All right.
And finally, we have our suites. So like you were saying, you're having a bit of a hard time differentiating between you and your competitor, even
Mhm.
though your products are obviously of a very high quality.
Mhm.
So what SpecShare does is it allows consumers, potential clients, to be able to compare your products directly to those of another company.
Okay, when you say product, we're in a service business, plumbing, a flange is a flange is a flange.
Yes.
So in terms of differentiating, well, we only got really two things to offer if we have the identical products. We've got identical product and identical prices. Is it in stock and did it get there in time? So what we're talking about is quality of service and not necessarily a physical product.
Okay. Well, in that case scenario, thank you for clarifying,
Mhm.
first of all. I guess I should be a little bit more clear.
Mhm.
So SpecShare allows potential designers and architects to be looking at like you were saying, certain kinds of
Mhm.
pipes and being able to initiate those into the service that's
Mhm.
being provided.
Mhm.
So in that case scenario, it's not necessarily, as you might have said, a certain product, but more towards the service,
Okay.
if that makes it any more clear to you.
Okay, that's fine.
Sure, so with that in mind, does that sound like something you'd be interested in?
Maybe.
Sure. Is there anything else I can clarify for you?
You got a
Anything else
price?
you might need? No? Yeah, so it's gonna be $20,000.
What's my return on investment on that
2
20,000?
minutes. So like I said, here's the graph once at the plateau, and I know you are spending money on marketing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than another $20,000 investment,
Mhm.
we like to say that it's a shifting in this price. So you will be able to narrow down some of the money you're spending in areas that aren't
Mhm.
necessarily as being used as efficiently,
Mhm.
and reshift that towards the product that we're offering you.
Well, we're using a consulting service right now, it's less than $20,000. And their contract is up in about another 3 weeks, so that's why you're here today.
Sure, so we do have this, and if you're looking to spend less, we have another product for $10,000,
Mhm.
offers many of the same things. So what we have is you'll still have the opportunity to see our database,
Mm-hmm.
with the thousands of customers, and
Mhm.
you'll also be offered a, remote person to help you with any other issues you might have,
Okay.
funneling your marketing into more effective means. So does that sound like something that you would?
Yeah,
want to-
it sounds interesting, it's certainly something that, I'm liking hearing what you say. But as I said before, it doesn't come out of my, well, it does come out of my budget, but I've gotta get a yes from the controller. And since the marketing person's involved and it has to do with websites and stuff like that, I don't know anything about that.
Sure.
That person would have to be involved.
Well, in that case scenario, how about we set up another appointment?
Mhm.
How would you say is Monday at 10:30 or any other time? that we can-
Monday is actually a good day. I don't know if Monday morning is the best. I have to contact my 2 people. But I think Monday, you can count on Monday, but I just don't know what particular time of the day.
Yeah, well, in that case scenario, I'll leave you with my card.
Okay,
For now, we can say Monday, and I'll send you a follow-up email with all the information that we discussed.
okay,
And I'll follow you up with a phone call as well, just to double check on the time once you discuss that with your customers.
sounds
as
good.
well. Sure, well, thank you again so much for
Thank you.
taking the time to talk.
Yay!
Okay, so,
Oh, boy.
take a deep breath. I think you're gonna get really good feedback.
Oh,
So take a deep breath, take some notes, because you got tremendous potential, so make sure you take these pointers down and you're gonna be able to take it to the next level, okay?
yeah,
Good job. Yeah, pretty smooth progress through the process. I thought you hit all the areas pretty well. There's something you can do early that'll help you a little bit later when and this is more real world too. When they start giving you name, other people that need to get involved, there's nothing wrong with asking who those people are, right? And getting those names,
sure.
right? It's a minor thing, but it's gonna send a message that you're serious. And then that's gonna help you on your close, when you can propose next steps. What I'd like to do is to set up a meeting with Joe and Sam for next Tuesday, and then he agreed. And whenever you get an agreement on a close, ask for a further concession from the customer. Oh, by the way, I'd really appreciate if you send them an email kind of summarizing our meeting, so they're warmed up to that next meeting. In fact, here are some of the key points I'd like you to put in that email. So you're kind of asking the customer for further concessions to help accentuate your original close. But a couple of pointers, great job.
I really loved the personal background and the fact that you said, here's how long I've been with this company and here's my personal goal with you. I thought that was a nice touch, along with the rapport building that you did about the boys in soccer. I thought that was like a really nice way to win them over early. The 2 things that I think you could do differently if you had the opportunity to do this again, one would be volume. So I thought your talk track was really smooth. I think just kind of enhancing the volume and really enhancing the confidence within your voice would be a huge win for you as well. And then also, when actually speaking about Dodge, you weren't quite as confident as some of the other things, like when you said, Dodge does this, and then you pause. So I'm sure you realize that too.
Yeah.
But those are minor things that you can really do to really enhance how you sound throughout the presentation. Great job.
Thank you.
Overall, really great job. I loved your pattern of yes when you got into the close, and that you did keep it back and forth dialogue. You didn't just go ramble off, explain everything. You tried to have a back and forth dialogue there. Where one part when you threw out the $20,000 price, and then he came back that he has a service that is currently less, right?
Mhm.
That doesn't necessarily mean now you have to go to the lower end product. That's your opportunity to come in and justify why that $20,000 is worth his investment and worth his time. And that's where you have to take all that needs analysis of what you just had and use that as the reasoning and justification for the bigger end of the sale.
When I said that 25% of my guys' time, the gal's time, is spent lead generation, went from 25 to 15, you can quantify that. How much does that cost? How much is 10% of your people's time worth? And that might be enough to justify the $20,000. And in turn, yeah, sorry.
I want to just say something. Sophie, so I work for Dodge State Analytics. I'm the town acquisition manager. So all these are great salespeople here. And I sell myself as a recruiter. But one thing I really like that you did, and I believe you did, you really prepared. You came in, you knew our products or services, you really prepared well. That's a big differentiating factor that you did that. And I agree with everything that everybody else said. So great job.
Yeah, the only footnote I would say is that with the feedback you're getting is so specific, it's because you did really that well, you know? I mean, you know, excellent, so.
Well, thank you for all.
Yeah, you
taking the time
overcame
to
that,
be here.
any nervousness, right? This is a nice chart, but it doesn't sell me on $20,000. So if you just give me a hard number,
It's just trenches.
this is a case example, we saved them umpty thousand, with your size, we can save you 50% more. Just give me a hard number,
Yeah, definitely.
all right?
Okay, well, thank you again so
Good job.
much. Great
Good job, Sophie.
Sophie, good job.
Thank you guys.
Oh, don't go away, we have a piece of paper for you.
Parting gift? You're definitely the top two.
This goes on.